Shalom, shalom, everybody. Ariel Tzadok here from the KosherTorah School, found online. Where else? www.koshertorah.com. It is time for our weekly class from my book, Walking in the Fire. And in this night's class, we are going to learn a rather involved and in-depth meditative technique. Now, this is one of those oldie but goodie ones that's been brought down by the Ariel, by the Rashash, and even by Rabbi Yosef, the famous Ben Ish Chai. So this is big deal stuff. And before I actually get into the meditation, which probably is going to take more than one class, at least that's what I'm expecting. You see, whenever it comes to a meditation, I'll give you the example of something from the martial arts world. Many of you might have seen the slow-moving martial art called Tai Chi Chuan. You know, you're going very slow and you're moving the hands, and it looks more like exercise. Whereas anybody in the martial arts world knows it is called and understood to be the most intense and the most powerful of all the martial arts. Now, you've seen Kung Fu, you've seen Karate, you've seen Jiu-Jitsu, you've seen Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and Jet Li and Donnie Yen and all the rest. These are tough guys. And Tai Chi Chuan, better than them all, and they all know it. The reason behind my example is this. You can learn a form, but the form is going to mean nothing unless you can fill the form with the proper energy therein. When you study Tai Chi Chuan, you study a form. The form could take you a year. The form might take you 2 years. And then you learn something called push hands. But eventually, over many, many years, you learn the entire chi flow. And then you could actually project the chi out. Chi, oh, by the way, that's nefesh in Hebrew. Without even touching your opponent, you can control their movements, their thoughts, and everything else. Yes, it really works. No, it's nothing avodah zarah or any of this other nonsense for those of you who are, let's be blunt, racist and ignorant of the real energetic flow of things. So, okay, that being said. Okay, now, let's get down again. What is the relationship here? You can study all kinds of Kabbalistic meditative forms. You can read the words. You can see them in your eyes. And it will be just like a form. You're just going through the motions, you're doing all this stuff, and it might look nice. Where's the energy in it? Where is the power to make it real? Well, if you don't have that, then in my not so humble opinion, you're wasting your time. Because what are we doing? Is the purpose of our spiritual practices to look good? We all know what it means to dress up and go out and look nice. For those of you who know me, right, I am not known to be the dresser, right? But those of you who know, recently in the last year, I had the great mitzvah marrying my beautiful young Rabbanit from Paris. And she is my style director. One time back in Pennsylvania, we were going out for a lovely dinner in New York. And I dressed, and she looked at me and says, "You're not going to dress like that for dinner." I said, "Why not?" She said, "No, you're not." I said, "What's wrong?" So after a clothing change, I understood. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because going out to dinner, you're supposed to look nice, okay? That's what it's all about. When you're a peasant like me, okay? That's why God blessed me with a beautiful Rabbanit to elevate me. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sitting here. We're still living in Knoxville. As you know, God's going to bless us. We're going to move back into a nice, frum community when the time comes. But just like we said with regards to Bnei Yisrael leaving Egypt, that you could take the children of Israel out of Egypt, but you couldn't take Egypt out of the children of Israel. Well, with me, it's kind of like you could take me out of Tennessee, but Tennessee's still going to be inside me no matter where I go. I don't know if that's Egypt or not, but what can I say? I'm just a country boy who's, a repentant city boy who became a country boy and very resistant to go back to the city ways. But, something, when it comes to the service of heaven, you got to do the right thing. Part of doing that right thing is recognizing that when we're doing these meditations, it's not dressing up for dinner. All right? This is not just something external. When you want to look nice, that's fine. Dramatic pause. But doing meditative practices is not for the sake of looking good. It's for the sake of being good. And that is as different as the heavens are to the earth. So please understand that before I even read the technique to you from my book, okay, Walking in the Fire, you see it there. If you do not have the book right in front of you right now, you're going to have a really hard time following this class. If you're listening to me live and you do not have the book, what could I say? I mean, I'm telling you to get the book for a long time. If you're listening to this video or you're watching this recording, please pause right now. Go get the book off your shelf or order it from Amazon because you're going to need it to follow along. Now, I'm going to explain to you specific fundamental concepts which are vital and essential so as to make our practice real. In other words, I'm going to fill you with the energy. Using the Kabbalistic metaphor, I know some of you like me to stay ethnically Jewish, even though I don't see the reason for that. We talk about light in the vessel, hand in hand, okay? Body and soul. If you don't have the proper essence within, then the proper meaning is superfluous. So this is what is essential. So please understand the nature of the importance of what we're about to do. Okay, with that being said, I have already discussed elements out of this chapter. We are on page 338. You can see there in the book, the Kavanot of the Merkava. So that's where we're, the chapter. Now, actually, I'm not going to start reading there. There's introductory material on pages 338, 39, 40 and 41. 40 and 41 are the meanings of the archetypes of the letters Yud Kei Vav Kei. That we've already discussed in a previous class. So, right now, I want you to understand what it is that we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and then, and only then, when you have the essence and the light understood in your mind, can we then proceed to discuss the form of how we will accomplish this. Now, in my little blurb that you see right here on Facebook, I said that the purpose of this meditation is not only to meditate, it's actually a healing exercise. And it is said that we become the Merkava and the Kisei, the throne, for the Adam of Atzilut Elyon, for the supernal image above. Essentially, what we are doing is using the techniques that we're about to learn through the faculty of what we can call active imagination. That's a modern Jungian term. We would call it hitbodedut or hitbonenut, depending on the application. And as such, we are going to take the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, in many different ways and forms. And we're going to use it, if you will, like a flashlight. I think that's better than to call it a laser beam. You know what a flashlight does? Yes, of course. You go into a dark place, you shine a flashlight, and boom, you can see what the heck's going on. You might see some of these brand new types of LED flashlights they have now coming out of China, which have like 9,000 lumens to them and everything else. I have a couple of those. They're intense and they really work great. The name of Yud Kei Vav Kei works just like that internally. And it helps shine the light where? Where it needs to be, which is where? Not so much in your unconscious mind, but your subconscious mind. all of us are a combination of the innate personality with which we are born, call it your mazal, if you will, and the byproduct of the environments that have been around us since day one. And they have taken the natural energy that we have within us and twists and turns and pushes and goes, and this is making us the individuals we are today, for better or for worse. And therefore, we all have stuff. In Yiddish, they'd call it shtick. In Hebrew, in the Kabbalah, we call it klipot, husks or shells, stuff we got to deal with. Now, whenever you're talking about anything spiritual, you're talking about the identical psychological. Psychological is spiritual. Spiritual is psychological. Never distinguish between the two, please. It's really one and the same. We can create all kinds of fantasies and get confused when we lose that clarity. The whole purpose and point of making ourselves a Merkava, the whole purpose of Ma'aseh Merkava, when we say that we're going to see Ezekiel's vision. Okay, I see Ezekiel's visions. I see these Hayot. I see these Ofanim. I see the Cherubim. I see the Kisei. I see the image of the kind of like a guy on the throne. Do we see the Merkava today? Of course we do. Have I? Yeah, sure I have. But not like Ezekiel did. I remember learning years and years ago in the writings of Erich Neumann, professor of psychiatry at the University of Tel Aviv. He was a very big Jungian psychologist, psychiatrist, very close to Jung himself, for that matter. And he made it very clear that the nature of the experience of the Merkava today, visually in the mind, is going to be experienced within the imagery that we know and understand today, just like Ezekiel experienced it as he saw it 3,500 years ago. Did he see something actual and tangible? Oh, yes, he did. But you wouldn't have been able to reach out and touch it because it wasn't in our dimension. So when you and I, we experience the Merkava today, we each see it within the context of that which we call individual archetypes. And individual archetypes are that unique expression to ourselves, which merge with and blend with the collective archetypes, which are universal. Remember, like I just said, we have the universal, the innate personality with which we are born, and then the individual development of personality as life dictates and directs us. So you have, if you will, the objective and the subjective, if you will, inner and outer. Well, it's the same thing with experience. When we have dreams, we see things which are a combination of both personal and collective. And if you really want to be a proper and expert dream interpreter, you must be able to weave through and recognize the difference between the two. So anytime that anyone sees anything, you must recognize it within its context, or otherwise you're going to miss the message. It reminds me of a wise saying that's in the Gemara Masechet Berachot with regards to dream interpretation, in which our sages said that a dream uninterpreted is like a letter that's not read. Well, when it comes to a meditation, it's the same thing. We visualize things in meditation. We experience things in meditation. And we get feelings, sensations of something. These need to be observed, documented, written down in your spiritual diary, and thought about. What does this mean to me? So, when you see something, I see something, all right? And you come to me, for example, and you say, Rabbi, I saw this or that in a vision or dream. What's it mean? How am I supposed to know what it means? You have to figure out what it means. And as you figure it out, I can give you guidance and help along that way, but the revelations are going to come from inside you. Can you hear that in the background? I've got a siren going off back there. Welcome to the city. That's why I love living out in the rural area. Still, Knoxville's a city, so whatever. Okay, getting back to what we're discussing now. When it comes to visualizing the name of Yud K Vav K, as we've discussed in our previous classes in this series, each letter of God's name is a code. And you must recognize the code, because when you're going to visualize the name, you remember we've been talking all from the, just move that there. Sorry about the cat, moving the camera there. We talked about the Shviti. Here's the Shviti again. It's available for those of you who want it. And you're going to see the Merkava meditation that we're going to do is literally right there, but we'll get to that later. Yud Ke Vav Ke. Yud stands for the Atzilutic world, which we call the realm of the intuitive. The He stands for the Beriatic world, the world of the intellect. The Vav stands for the Yetziratic world, the world of the emotions. The final He, Asiatic world, the world of the physical deeds, actions, and the like. We've discussed this in the past. I have numerous writings about this in other classes. I'm not elaborating more on that now. If you do not have that information, please go to those other sources and get it. So now we're going to move forward. Yud Ke Vav Ke. Shaviti Hashem Lanegdi Tamid. I visualize the name of God. Mazel Tov. Now what? Well, let me quote to you from Hayim Vital in his Sha'ar Ruah HaKodesh, the gates of divine inspiration. I'm reading to you from the top of page 342 in Walking in the Fire, a translation from Sha'ar HaKodesh. Rabbi Hayim writes like this: when one meditates on the name, if one has sinned and thus blemished any one of the four letters, then that letter he will not be able to meditate upon clearly, and he can thus know the source of his weakness. The name Yud Ke Vav Ke serves like a raw shock, like the ink blot to test. So, if I am counseling you and I want to ascertain the nature of your psychology, your spiritual place, I'll say, visualize the name Yud Ke Vav Ke. And you will. And I'll say, describe to me each letter. Well, I can see the letter Yud very clearly. I can see the first Hey very clearly. But the Vav is kind of cloudy. And the last letter Hey looks, black and muddy. Very interesting. I can interpret that because the final letter Hey refers to your actions, your behaviors. So therefore, if there's a problem with the final letter Hey, that means something's not right with your behaviors. And somehow, somewhere, the reflection from the objective world, the letter Hey, coming through your subjective mind, is making the image a reflection of what's going on inside you. So that is where counseling we would need to explore. Same thing with that letter Vav. Remember I said it was like a little fuzzy? Well, if your letter Vav is fuzzy, not clear, I recognize that there's an emotional problem going on inside there. And we need to explore within the nature of one's individual emotions. If there's a problem with the first letter Hey, then probably a problem with the way people are thinking, their thoughts, ideas, philosophy. If there's a problem with the letter Yud, then clearly they're not in touch very well with their intuitive and psychic side. So that is how we can recognize and understand individual letters and how they are a reflection of one's internal psychological, spiritual state. Try this. Try this yourself. You're going to visualize Yud Ke Vav Ke. What do you see? Now, don't write in texts here and tell me, don't do it now and that. But you must take the time. And then if and when you see or experience a problem with any one letter, this is where you need to explore within yourself. You can pray to God. Hey, Hashem, there's your name. Somehow, somewhere, the connection between us is not clear. Why? What's going on? You interact with this in prayer and in meditation and see where it leads you. Okay, let's read. When meditating upon the name, if the letters appear as if they are written in black ink, know that this one soul emanates from Asiya. All right, I'm going to read the whole thing and then we'll comment. Now, I read this before, but let's do it again. If the letters appear red, not just red, but he says red, then the one emanates from Yetzirah. If the letters appear white, then that soul emanates from Biriya. If the letters appear not only white, but glowing and sparkling, that soul emanates from Atzilut. And he says, by this a man can know to which level his soul clings. In this way also, a man should meditate on the name YHWH as if placed in every organ or member of his body, be it his face, hands, etc. The man can thus identify his sins. And the truest, highest way of perceiving Havaya meditation is to see the name as burning fire. And if one perceives the names as such, then one is without blemish and is complete. Now, you can use the power of imagination to make yourself see whatever you want, but that's not the point. If and when you see the letters in block form, like you would see it on the page of a book, well, that's very black and white. But that means it's a very literal way. And that means your mind is thinking very literally. That's why he says if it's written in black. If you see it in red, or for that matter, green, for that matter, blue, for that matter, any of the colors of the rainbow, those are expressions of individual emotional states. And if you're seeing it in the colors of the rainbow, then that's an expression that your emotional state is what is the most predominant within you, causing the name of YHWH to be seen in that form. Very revelatory about yourself. So therefore, if you're seeing the letters in purple or blue or yellow or orange or red or green, you got to ask yourself, what does this mean to me? And that is how you understand things. If you see them in pure white, well, that's also good. That's a sign that's correlating to the realm of the mind, the thought. You're not thinking emotionally, you're thinking rationally. Now, in our Western society today, we have such cognitive dissonance in that respect. We're taught to be rational, think clearly, don't be emotional. Whereas at the same time, we elevate emotions to being almost the end-all of everything, right? One side of us is emotional, one side of us is intellectual, and we think that they don't go together, when in need, they in essence need to go together. So that's what's very important here. You must have the balance of intellect and emotions so that there is proper harmony. And when there is proper harmony within you, only then do you find yourself to be in a position to be able to experience intuitive or psychic levels of understanding. And then when you have that psychic level of understanding, then you might see the letters of YHWH more fluid. As Rabbi Hayim would say, glowing or glittering and such. Even to the point of moving like fire. Now, what does moving like fire actually mean? It means that things are moving to the beat of their own drummer, if you will. They're moving in their own pace. Things are flowing. When, for example, going back to the martial arts example, when you learn a martial arts form, it's very mechanical. You put the hands up, you put the hands down, you go like this and you go like that. But you actually get that energy flowing. You have this natural movement through you. I'll give an example with myself. Over many, many years, I've been studying martial arts, believe it or not, for 50 years. Yeah, I'm dating myself. But when I first studied the soft style, like Tai Chi and stuff, I was much, much older. I had years and years of other systems before me, mostly Chinese because that's my background. And practiced the soft styles. I did all the forms like I was taught to do. And then as I'm practicing them and I get the forms down, I noticed ever so subtle changes in my body. I don't know how many of you know, like Tai Chi and stuff like that. When you're supposed to swing with your hand like this, I noticed my hand was naturally turning. Instead of having a cup hand like this, I noticed my hand was in the claw, which is in the normal way that I did things. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with the flow. And I allowed my body and my energy to integrate all the different things I've done over 50 long years and pretty much materialized, manifested, allowed the expression of my own unique style. Works for me. And that is how things are done. So when it comes to visualizing Yud-K, Vav-K for you, you're going to see things in your own unique way. You're going to experience things in that way which is right for you. And that is how we learn to read our own inner self. Now, as Rabbi Hayim made very clearly there, we take this letter, this name, Yud-K, Vav-K, and I don't just visualize it up in the sky. I visualize it, inside myself. Where? I can visualize it on my nose. I can visualize it on my head. We visualize the name Yud-K, Vav-K in every part of the body. Now here is something that, again, we covered this in our last lesson about how you're supposed to see the name of Hashem in everything, everywhere. And you look for numerical values. I gave the example in a previous class about numerical values, gematriot. And how, for example, if you go to the store and you buy an item and it costs you $26.31. Well, 31 is the gematria of El, and 26 is Yud-K, Vav-K. There you go, El Havaya. Very significant holy name. And there it is, right there, on the on the cash register, how much you got to pay for something. You look for all of these things everywhere. So when it comes to looking into our own body, our eyes, our ears, nose, and mouth, wherever, we look for numerical values, correlations, so as that we can look for inner holiness, inner energy in everything we do. And if there is a blemish, a problem, like in the ink blot test, a reflection, we see it within ourselves. And as we see things within ourselves, we therefore learn where we need to address issues. And because we learn, we see problems within ourselves, and we learn where to address issues. This system that we're about to learn now becomes a profound system, a powerful system for self-healing. Because when you can visualize yourself, within yourself, the names in all the places that we're about to learn, and experience within yourself how you see the name, where you see the name, etc., you will eventually be able to do this in others. You'll be able to visualize the name of Hashem upon another person. Doesn't matter where they are physically. They don't have to be there with you. It could be anywhere. And you visualize Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Tom, Dick, or Harry, as we would say. And I could see that this person has an issue. I visualize the name Yud-K, Vav-K, and all of a sudden I see the name Yud-K, Vav-K possibly in their left side of their chest or the right side of their torso or somehow somewhere. And I visualize deeper and I see there's something going on. And I get a flavor, a feeling, that intuitive sense that maybe somehow, somewhere something is not kosher or good. And by intuitive understanding, by visualizing through the name, you could recognize this person's got a problem with this person's got a problem with that. And then you could work through appropriate visualization technique to project the energy through the names onto the individual, which is an actual, valid transference of actual psychic energy, which can have a biological, physiological effect to help bring about physical transformation and healing in the individual's physical body, or for that matter, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body, all the different levels as the case may be. So that's how the system works. Now, you understand how this is to operate. Now let's learn the form itself. Okay. The form itself has its origins in the Kitvei Ari, Sha'ar, HaKodesh, and other places from Rabbi Hayim Vital. The Rashash Maran Shalom Sharabi has brought down this system in his traditional meditative form, and I will open up the book here and I'll show it to you. You can see here this diagram. This is the diagram as found in the Rashash Sidur. This is the Kavanot of the Merkava. Okay, yes, it's all translated in Walking in the Fire, and I'm going to walk you through this step by step. But here, take a look at that top line. You'll see right there, if you can read the Hebrew, that it states, again, right? Contemplate to make yourself the Merkava and the throne to the holy man of Atzilut. And that is exactly what we're going to do. This is a very profound, deep Kabbalistic thing. It's very intense. It's very involved. Should I be teaching this publicly? Is this for everybody? Maybe this is only for like the super secret, sacred Kabbalists, men and women, both. For those of you who did not see, I recently posted a video on women and Kabbalah. It was actually based upon an experience I had with the Rabbanit. We were learning on Shabbat. We were learning from Mahsof Levan, Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chetzer's very deep Kabbalistic book. And I was teaching her a very, very involved stuff. And, you know, as I was reading to, she says, hold on a second. And I could see the shifting in her eye as she's like incorporating the information. And I could see the intuitive side, I could see the Sechel Tunudah happening within her as it was happening. I didn't even tell her. I told everybody in the video before I even told her. And I smiled. I said, Salka datach. I see she's getting it. So my point is this. Women, ladies, you should be able to experience this at a far greater depth than men. But with that being said, is this profound, deep Rashash Kavanah system only for the men? No. Indeed, all right. I got a big beef, but this is not the time for it. That if you look at the history of the development of Kabbalah, originally Chokhmah, Spirit Chokhmah, was originally feminine. Spirituality is originally feminine. Go back to the book of Mishnah, Proverbs. All right. She cries out in the street. Wisdom is always female. So the intuitive psychic was always the realm of the female. And somehow, somewhere, the mystical, which is the female, somehow got twisted and turned around, was only for men. Somehow, somewhere in the Middle Ages, that misogynistic garbage happened. No. Very bad. We got to change that today. So, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to learn this deep, mystical, heavy-duty stuff? And the answer is yeah. And you might say, if you're religious, well, where do I get my authority to teach this? And needless to say, I'm setting this up for that. Where's my authority? Well, I just so happen to put the original Hebrew right here in the text. You can see it right there. All right, that's on page 346. And what that is a copy of the writing in the original Hebrew, mind you, from Rabbi Yosef Hayim, the famous Ben Ish Chai of Baghdad. And this is a section from his law code, the Ben Ish Chai, which he put together and wrote for the laymen of Baghdad in his day. Oh, when was his day? Hundreds and hundreds of years ago? No. Rabbi Yosef Hayim passed away 110 years ago, 1909. So he was around in the late 1870s, pretty much kind of like in the days of my great-grandfather. So this is written for everybody. So, ladies, gentlemen, I don't care if you're Jewish or not Jewish, because Tana Devei Eliyahu says, for everybody. This is a practice for you. Because the holy name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, is that universal archetype, which is applicable to everybody. And as such, I encourage everybody to learn this and practice this. Because by doing so, it will bring you closer to the name of God, clarity within yourself, and therefore alignment with God, alignment with yourself, alignment with others. And that's what we call tikkun. So this is a very, very important thing to do. And indeed, this is called a tikkun hanefesh, or if you will, a healing. Tikkun can mean healing, actually means rectification, but it can mean healing as well. Healing or rectification of your soul. And that's what it's all about. There's a pasuk in the book of, Mishlei. Torah Hashem tamima ma'ashivat nafesh. The Torah of Hashem is tamima, which actually means simple. Simple. And then it says restores, mashivat, your soul. So, as technical as this system is going to be, once you get it down like a Tai Chi form, you will find it becomes natural, it becomes easy, it becomes fluid. And even though we're going to learn it in a specific order, remember I told you from my own experience of developing the Tai Chi, once you get the system down and you get the form down, go with the flow and see where your own neshama, your own higher self directs and guides you so that you can understand and experience and thus practice this for yourselves. So I'm going to begin by reading to you from the original Hebrew of Rabbi Yosef Hayim, from his book Ben Ish Hai, from the first year, Parashat Miketz, Halacha, Yud Gimel. Halacha. Ben Ish Hai is a book of law. It's a book of practices. It's not a book of Kabbalah. It's not a book of mysticism. It's a book of thou shalt and thou shalt not. And what do you know? This meditative system is one of those thou shalts. And it's for everybody. So here we go. And I read to you and I'll translate, of course, as we go along. Inyan gadol v'nora. A matter which is very great and awesome. The etzah tova v'yikara. And very good and precious advice. Gila la Rabbeinu HaArizal. Was revealed to us by our teacher, the Ariel. B'sha'ar Ruah HaKodesh. In the book again, The Gates of the Holy Spirit. Yehud Kaf Aleph. So Yehud is the number 21. And this is what he writes, and I quote. Ru'ui la'adam tamid. It is appropriate for the word Adam. It's always man, but remember, the word Adam always means male and female. No misogyny here. It's all us together. Tamid lechaven, to always contemplate, ularichet atzmo, and to contemplate, visualize yourselves, ki'ilu hu madur, that you are the domain, the kisei, and the throne for the world of the holy Atzilut, or if you will, the higher realm, the supernal realm. Ubifrat bizman she'adam itpalel, specifically you should do this at the times when we pray. Hu yoter ru'ui, it's more appropriate. Muchrach shichaven bekach, and it's appropriate. It's actually, he says, muchrach, you really should focus on this. Al yidei ken tishara v'tachul elav kedusha eliyuna, and then by doing this, you will find that it will descend upon you the supernal holiness. V'zehu mashichaven, and this is what you should contemplate or meditate upon. Techila, to begin with, yachshov shehu mechin galgolet rosho, prepare, consider, focus, visualize as if you're preparing your own skull, your own head, which is the secret, shehu sod haketer, the secret of the keter. Lihiot, to be, a kisei, a throne, a vessel, if you will. El Shem Havaya, to the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, B'Nikud Kamatz, Kula. All right? You visualize your crown on your head with the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, each letter with the vowel kamatz. No, you don't need to pronounce it. This is not a word that you're pronouncing it. The vowel kamatz, it's like a little T vowel. It symbolizes or represents the Sefirat Keter. So whenever we take the name Yud-Ke Vav-Ke and we have specific vowels with it, it's not meant to be read. It's a code in which we're reflecting which Sefirah the name of Yud-Ke Vav-Ke is being reflected through. So we have all the different vowels. Each set of vowels is going to reflect to us a different Sefirah. You don't need to read it. It's not a word to be read. I got to repeat this because people, they look at it on the page and say, I got to read all this stuff. No, it's a picture. It's not words. Remember, it's a code. So understand it, please, accordingly. Visualize Yud-Ke, Vav-Ke, all kamatz. No, you don't got to read it out, not even in your mind. Just visualize it like a picture. Boom, done. Yeah, I just did it. There you go. Do it again. Boom, done. That's how long it takes. Let's move on. Va'od, more, mechin moach hachochma shebo. Prepare your chochma, the brain of chochma, or if you will, your right lobe of the brain. Shebo liot, so that is the place of the throne of the name of Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, with the nikud, the vowels of patach. Patach is the vowel corresponding to chochma. So again, for your right brain, all right, I think the camera might reflect differently here. If it does, sorry. You visualize your right brain, Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, all with patach, with the patach. Okay, boom, just the picture. You don't have to read it out. Continue. Mechin moach bina. Now your left brain, he calls here the brain of bina. Now, Shebo liot kisei, this becomes a throne, a vessel, for the name of Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, with the vowels of tzere. These little two dots underneath each letter. So you have kamatz, patach, tzere. Boom, boom, boom. Those are your three brains, if you will. That's the power of the mind. And now, let's do more. Mechin ayin yamin shebo. Now visualize your right eye is a kisei for 5 times the name of Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, because Yud-Ke Vav-Ke is 26. 5 times 26 is 130, which is the numerical value of the word ayin, ayin, yud, nun. So as you would visualize your right eye with the name 5 times, mechin ayin small. And again, you're going to do the exact same thing with your left eye. 5 times the name Yud-Ke Vav-Ke, liot kisei, v'chamisha habayot, shehem mispar ayin. You'll notice over and over again, he says, liot kisei, to be a throne. What is a throne? Okay, throne's a chair. So my eyes, my head's a chair. What's that mean? Remember we're talking symbolisms? The image of a chair, a throne, means something from above sitting down. You understand what that means? Something above comes down. Essentially, our bodies, the individual parts of our bodies, become the place where the upper reality of things can descend and materialize through us. Remember the point of our Torah. Our job is not to rise up to heaven. Our job is to bring heaven down to earth. And this is exactly what we're doing. So as you're visualizing the name Yud-Ke Vav-Ke in your keter, in your right brain, in your left brain, in your right eye, in your left eye, and we're making all these numerical value correlations, as you just saw with the eye, and you watch and observe in your mind's eye. It's called active imagination in psychology. Can I see those 5 names of Yud-Ke Vav-Ke clearly? Can I see my right brain or my left brain? Got to reverse there. Can I see it clearly? Is there something blemished there? Am I having a hard time? Pause. Ask, why am I having a hard time? Now, if you don't know Hebrew, obviously might be having a hard time for practical reasons. That is why you'll see in the book, I've given numerous forms of how this meditation is to be viewed. And I've also taken this entire section here and it's translated, and we'll get to that as we proceed. But now let's continue through the section. Yechaven ozen. Now let's go to your ear. The word ozen in Hebrew is Aleph Zayin Nun. Your right ear. That is a kisei, again a throne for the name of Yud Ke Vav Ke. Bimeluia Kazeh. When you write out the individual letters of Yud Ke Vav Ke, Yud is Yud Vav Dalet, Hey is Hey Yud, Vav is Vav Aleph Vav, and Hey is Hey Hey. That is the numerical value of ozen, ear. The chaven, ozen small. And then again, you do the exact same thing with the left ear. And this becomes then your throne for the name of Yud Ke Vav Ke. And again, the exact same way. Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Yud, Vav, Aleph Vav, Hey Hey. That is the numerical value of ear, ozen. Now, take a moment. Pause this recording if you're listening to this recording. Review this stuff as you need to do it. Remember, we're giving you a lot of information in a very short time, and it might be a little difficult to be able to absorb. Don't worry about it. Just take it easy and take it at your own pace. Let's move on. All right? Now, Yichaven Nahir Yamin, the Hotem, your right nostril. Nahir is the nostril of the nose, and this also is a kisei, a throne for Yud Ke Vav Ke. When you spell out the name like this, Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Yud Vav Aleph Vav, and then Hey Yud, this becomes the numerical value of the word Hotem, Chet Vav Tet Mem. I'm actually breathing in, visualizing in each of my nostrils the name of Hashem. Yud Ke Vav Ke. And again, you're going to do the exact same thing with your left nostril. Yichaven Nachir Small, the Chotem Shebo Liot Kisei, L'Shem Havaya, the Melui, Yud Ke Vav Ke. Like we said, again, numerical value, Chotem. Okay? Now, if you do not have the book in front of you, I can't imagine that you're following along with me. And you will see later, if you have the book, flip through the page, you'll see I do have this already translated. But I want you to see what Rabbi Yosef Hayim, the Ben Ish Chai Baghdad, wrote as a halacha, book of laws. And this was written there, and you can see the form that we have it here in the book. It's a nice print Hebrew with vowels to make it easy to read and understand. This is something that, like a form of martial arts, takes a little time to practice and get down, but you can do it. Patience, as we say in Hebrew, savlanut, matun, matun. Don't worry if we're going slow. Don't worry if we're going fast. Like, again, a Tai Chi form. It takes time to learn, so be patient. I've seen forms that I've seen like in videos and stuff like that, and wow, it looks so beautiful and effortless. And then you try to learn it. It takes you a long time. For some people, maybe it's going to be like that. I mean, I'm reading it to you, and I know I might be going a little fast, but again, slow down, take it easy, one step at a time, no stress. Stress is the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish here. And the wise example, if you remember, of the person who came to Hillel and Shammai, trying to learn all the Torah in the time they could stand on one foot? Nah, just relax. Now, let's continue with what the rabbi writes. Your mouth. Yechin pei shebo. Now consider or contemplate your mouth again being a throne for the name of Yud Ke Vav Ke. Again, when we spell it out as Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, and again Hey Yud. Yeah, it's the same as in the nose, but the word nose, Hotem, that equals 63. The word for mouth is Pei, which equals Pei Hey is 85. So I got 63. What's missing from 85 if I subtract 63? Go ahead, all you mathematicians. 22? Anybody know the significance of the number 22 in Hebrew? Esrim ushtaim otiyot. These are the 22 letters of the Torah, which come forth from the 5 places of pronunciation of words in the mouth. And those 5 places, we have now 5 different forms where in which all the 22 letters are set. They come from the pronunciation of the tongue, your lips, your palate, all right? All the different places in the mouth, the throat. And the letters are therefore divided into these forms. Aleph, Het, He, Ayin, that's called Aha. The next is Gichak. The next is Dantlat. The next is Shastratz. And then Bumaf. 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. 22 and 63 from the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. 85, mouth. Now wait a second. Why would I take the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei spelled out at 63, notice Sog, and why would I put the 22 letters here in the mouth? Why don't I put them in the eye, or the ear, or the nose? Is this really a question? I hope not. Does anybody speak through their eyes, or nose, or mouth? Or ears? No. Speak through the mouth. What else is going to come out of the mouth? The letters belong in the mouth, and that's why they come forth from the mouth. And when merging with the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, you have the secret of Pei. And we can go into great details of the secrets of the word Pei when we say the mouth speaks. Anybody know how you would say the mouth speaks in Hebrew? Pesach. Pesach? Anybody know Passover? Oh, big secrets with that, but another time. Let's move on down through the body. Yichaven Ruah Yamin Shebo. Contemplate now in your right arm to be a throne for the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Again, Havaya we call it, with the vowels of Segol. Those are the 3 little dots. And now moving to the left arm to be a throne, a kisei, we said, for the name Yud Kei Vav Kei with the vowel Shva. Those are the 2 dots, one on top of one another. Yichaven Gufo. Contemplate your physical body, your torso. Name Yud Kei Vav Kei with the vowel Cholam. That's the dot on top of the letters. That's for Tiferet in the heart. But it also applies to the lungs and everywhere else. Now we move down to the legs. Yichaven Yerech Yamin, to your right thigh. There you contemplate the name Yud Kei Vav Kei with the vowels of the Chirik, the single dot underneath the letters. Moving on, Yichaven Yerech Smol, to your left thigh. There it becomes a throne for the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei with the Kubutz. Those are the 3 dots at the diagonal. And then Yichaven, here we go, to your Yesod, your genitalia. Oh, we don't talk about that because we're so holy. Yeah, well, the genitalia is still created by God and it's still kadosh, male or female. So therefore, we actually do a meditation there too. And the meditation in the Yesod, this is a throne for the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei with the vowels of Shuruk, which is the Vav with the dot in it. Yeah, you actually visualize the name Yud Kei Vav Kei down there, because even down there is kadosh. You know, just a note. When husband and wives are together in union, and it's supposed to be erotic, it's supposed to be passionate, wild, go get kinky, and as long as you are kadosh. At the time when either is going to have their climax, you should always be focusing on, believe it or not, the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, even to the point of saying the name L'Shem Yichud Kodesh Baruch Hu Shechintei, for the sake of the unity of the Holy One, blessed be He, the Shekhinah. Because the intimate act between a husband and wife should be as wild and as passionate as you can possibly make it, and at the same time making it kadosh. Remember, Hashem is always there between the ish and the isha. Now we move down. Yichaven ba'atara shebo. Now to the tip of the organ, the name Yud Kei Vav Kei again, without any nikud, because that is malchut. Ad kan devarav, until here. The name Yud Ke Vav Ke Stam, meaning without any vowels, that is the Beit Kibul, that is the receptivity for everything. That is why to this very day we don't say the name Yud Ke Vav Ke, we don't say it out loud. We very well know what the correct vowels historically were for the name. I've taught this for years. And you can visualize and meditate upon it if you feel so inclined. But we never recite the name. Why? Not because we forgot it, but because the name, which is a code, is the compilation of everything. And therefore, no single set of vowels can include everything. Every set of vowel is the collapse into a singularity of the collective whole. So that's why we never apply vowels to the name Yud Ke Vav Ke. That corresponds to Malchut, the form, and as such, everything. So all this time when we're applying the name Yud Ke Vav Ke to a set of vowels, we're associating it with one of the Sefirot. It's a specific place, boom, 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 and you go down the entire Merkava. And thus he states like this, Umatzati Katuv, and he says, I found written, Shechaven b'havaya zo bilti nikud, that you visualize the final without the vowels. Then you extend the last letter Hey a little bit, and inside you write small letters Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, Adonai. And that is something that you will find in all of the Sephardic editions, Edot Mizrach, of a prayer book. Whenever you see the name Baruch Atah Hashem, you'll see it says Yud Ke Vav Ke, and then the final Hey is expanded and elongated, and has the name Amonai written underneath, and then a knitting of the letters. We've discussed this in a previous class. This is something that, again, the Ben Ish Chai says we're supposed to do all the time. All the time. Now, this sounds like a very intricate meditation, does it not? And yet, in a prayer book, and I'm going to show you, I put it here in our thing, from the Beit David B'Shlomo Siddur, which was originally published by Bakal, they took this entire meditative thing and they put it in the form of a prayer. And there's the prayer right there in the book. You can see it there on the page. Okay? Go get the book. And the guy said, you got to have the book in front of you. And again, it opens up with these words. Ribono shel olam, hareini mechaben la'asot kol gufi Merkava le'shechina, the Master of the universe, behold, I am preparing to make all my body a Merkava, a throne, a chariot, for the Shekhinah, Kedei liyahada, for the sake of the unity of the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Shekhinah. And look carefully, there you'll see right there is that knitting of those letters. See that there? Okay, that's Amonai, Yud Ke Vav Ke, and Adonai. Tiferet and Malchut, the higher world and the lower world, consider any which way, whatever metaphor you want. It's all the same. Because again, when we recognize that it's not just this physical external world, but we have the internal reality within, we merge the two. This isn't done like that. It's not easy. It's a process. And the thing that is hindering the process is what we call klipot. In psychology, we call it your subconscious content. And you got to get through this stuff. And it's hard. And it's not easy. And it takes time. That's why we say savlanut, matun, matun. Just take it easy, relax. If you can do that, you will accomplish everything. So, we do this for the sake of the unity, liyachadaku chavarechot shchinte, bidahilu or himu, for the sake in love and in awe. Right column, left column. Rigidity and fluidity. Lechaber shem yud-hei v'vav-hei, to unite the letters yud-hei, which is the force of the mind, with the vav-hei, which is the force of emotion and action. So everything is in complete harmony. B'yichudah shelim, to create complete unity. B'shem kol Yisrael. B'shem kol Yisrael. I don't do this just for me. I don't do this for my own personal gain, because I am nothing more than just a cell in the greater body. So this is for everyone. This is for everything. It is all meant to be done as part of the collective whole. And then he begins, and he states, he says, in my head, there are three general ways of Yud Kei Vav Kei, and then he goes through all the details and stuff. And we can do that most likely in our next class. We'll pick up there. And he has the prayer version, and then of course he has the visualization technique. As you can see there, that's right out of the Siddur Rashash. And of course, to make things understandable and easy, like I said, I have the whole thing translated here. So we'll do that in our next class. We'll go through this. I want to make sure that we've covered this and we are complete. And then, of course, I have the detailed version of it from later Kabbalistic texts. In fact, it takes 2 pages in the detailed version. Well, you got to be complete. You got to show all the different ways of how this is done. And then there's another version of how it's done from a different siddur. Okay, I see we've kind of ran out of time for this class now. If you have questions, Ariel Tzadok at gmail.com. You know where to reach me. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll be back next week. We'll pick up here where we left off. We'll continue just to be meticulous in covering the details. May I suggest, if you so choose, play with this. Try it. Take it a little bit at a time. Don't try to eat it all in one sitting. Just a little bit. Like I said, like learning the form of Tai Chi, you do your first move. That's all. Just get it done. Don't stress yourself. Take it nice and easy and slow. And allow Hashem to fill you, flow through you, and you to connect with heaven, to bring heaven down to earth. That's it for tonight. Be'ezrat Hashem. Thank you again all for joining me. I'm your host, Ariel Tzadok from the KosherTorah School. I'm hoping to see you in our future classes online. And again, remember, for my supporting students, we have many, many different classes, all privately. For those of you who are interested in becoming a monthly supporter of our school at the $50 level and have access to all of our stuff, hey, I'm here for you. You got to be here for you too. Talk to you all soon. Have a great and wonderful week. God bless. Shalom.